Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, and I am very happy to announce a much awaited video that's going to be coming out on Wednesday, which is the next episode of Who Would Win. I know many people have been excited for when the next episode is coming out, and you all probably want to know who the matchups are, and I will also have a new guest with me that will be trying out for Wednesday, and if you want to know who that is, you'll have to wait and see. Though some of you who are good at easy detective work can probably figure it out. In any event, let's go ahead and hop into the matchups. So basically the point of this video is just to let you know who's fighting who, and of course give a very preliminary idea of what their strengths are, so to speak. That way you can make your own predictions down in the comment section below. And I'm really curious to see who you think is going to come out on top in each of these matchups. So the first battle that we're going to have was a very highly recommended one, I believe on the last video and also in the Discord. And I'm very excited to see it, which is Tehenhauin, the Prophet of Sotek, versus Wurrzag, the Great Green Prophet. So we've got a Prophet showdown in the making here. So, to go over just briefly what they're both going to be bringing to the fight, Tehenhauin, for the sake of not just steamrolling the competition, is going to be on foot. But, being on foot, that means he will have his serpent swarms as part of his fighting style, I guess you could say. I don't want to call it a mount, but he'll have his swarms around him to help him fight, while Wurrzag will be on his pig, Spleen Ripper, his war boar. So that's the mount options they have. They're both going to have all their items. So you'll have Wurrzag with his myriad of items, with his baleful mask and his staff and his squiggly beast and all that stuff. Whereas Tehenhauin will be bringing in the blade of the serpent's tongue and the plaque of Sotek as well. So that should be a really interesting matchup between these two characters. They're both incredible wizards. Wurrzag, of course, wielding the lore of the Big Wah, though he does have the ability to shoot lasers from his eyes, which is technically a Little Wah spell. And then Tehenhauin will be bringing in the lore of beasts to fight. So that's it for the first match. Our second battle is going to be a battle of champions who do not have crazy magical powers, which is going to be Wulfrik the Wanderer from Norska versus Queek Headtaker, the legendary Skaven warlord. So this will be a really interesting fight. Both of these guys are kind of the pinnacles of their particular homeland, or their particular race, I guess you could say, when it comes to martial ability. They both wear very heavy armor. Queek will, of course, be showing up with his warp shard armor and his famous, well, his sword isn't particularly famous, but he has his strange little pick thing, a war pick called Dwarf Gouger. Whereas Wulfrik doesn't technically have any actual magic items in his background. He does have his blade, Total War Warhammer kind of upgraded to being legendary and called it the Sword of Torgald, which is not impossible that he stole it from Torgald, who was a Norscan king. That basically the Norskins got, most of the tribes were unified under like a high jarl or a Norscan king essentially, who started to build up a lot of power, but due to some political shenanigans, Wulfrik got turned against him, and Wulfrik actually killed him in single combat. So it's not a stretch to say that he probably uses a blade that he was looted from that guy's corpse. But in any event, Wulfrik does, of course, have his unique power that he'll be able to unleash in combat. He does have the gift of tongues. Seafang will not be particularly useful to him in that matchup, because Seafang doesn't actually run people over. In the lore, it's more like a way to teleport to get places. So he's not going to be able to hit Queek with a boat per se. But it is going to be interesting to see if the Skaven battle style with his items can stand up to Wulfrik's just sheer raw strength and toughness. Because Wulfrik is a tough son of a gun who is very, very skilled at combat. You know, he's like the pinnacle of a Chaos Warrior, so he's very deadly. And he does have a suitably defensive style with his Chaos Shield and Sword combo, as opposed to wielding like a great weapon or something. So, we'll love to see who people will side with on that. Then our third battle is one that I'm interested to talk about, and I feel like this one is going to be very polarizing, because most people are either going to be a fan of one of these guys or the other, and their powers against one another are difficult to define, but it was fun talking about it, and I'm really curious to see what y'all's arguments will be for who you want to win. Which, by the way, please let me know why you think whoever you think is going to win is going to win. I worded that kind of weirdly, but let me know your reasons, because that makes it really exciting for me to read everything. Between the occasional person who will just call me a jackass for when I don't agree with them. So our third battle is going to be a battle of the founders of the nations of men. So it's going to be Sigmar Heldenhammer at his prime. So this is going to be, it's going to be Sigmar Heldenhammer before he became a god. So it's Sigmar after defeating Morcar the Uniter, who was the first ever chosen, versus Gilles le Breton, who of course is the founder of Bretonia, and Gilles is going to be at his ultimate power level as well. So it's going to be Gilles right before he gets mortally wounded during the battle that he had with the Greenskins. So let me know which one of those you would like to see. Of course, Gilles le Breton does go on to become the Green Knight, and Sigmar goes on to become a worshipped man of the Empire. But in life, they were very similar in many ways. Granted, the way they became legends is a little different, in that Gilles was more of a incredible man who received aid from an otherworldly source, whereas Sigmar was a man who received aid from, well, basically you can think of it as Gilles le Breton received aid from the elves, whereas Sigmar received aid from the dwarves, getting Galmaraz. So it's really, really interesting how they developed very much in parallel to one another, but their journeys were also very different, because of their styles and the way they united all their tribes and stuff. So let me know who you think would win that battle of just epic legends. And both of them do have incredible feats. You know, Sigmar Heldenhammer was able to defeat Nagash barely, but he was also able to defeat Morcar the Uniter in a fair fight. You know, Morcar the Uniter was a terrifying Everchosen, being the first one, and a horrifying Chaos Lord. But on the other hand, Gilles le Breton was able to defeat Abarash, the first of the Blood Dragons, in single combat. So, yeah. The fourth battle, so in every video, I kind of want one of the battles to be a little different, something a little silly. Not necessarily, but interesting at least. And so we're going to do a classic that many, many people have enjoyed in Total War Warhammer, and take it to the lore for this duel, which is going to be one of the most famous and fair battles of all time, which is going to be the hordes of Bretonian peasant mobs, or just Bretonian peasants, versus Skaven slaves. So not men at arms, you know, not peasants who are formally trained or have good equipment. Nope, it's going to be just the bottom of the barrel peasants versus the bottom of the barrel Skaven, and to see who will win, and that one's going to be a lot of fun. And then the final match for the video that will come out on Wednesday is going to be a epic showdown to bring back all the grudges and hurt feelings and records from the War of the Beard, or the War of Vengeance, whichever you prefer. And we're going to have Belagar Ironhammer, the true king of Carrick 8 Peaks, versus Tyrion, one of the legendary twin brothers who are the defenders of Ulthuan. So, for this battle, you're going to... Oh, I should have noted, when Sigmar fights Gilles, Gilles will have a horse, like he does in his mythos, but Sigmar will be on foot, just to make that clear. Belagar versus Tyrion. Belagar will be on foot, essentially. I don't believe we talked about the Oath Stone, because it doesn't really matter in a one-on-one battle. But it's going to be Belagar with all of his equipment versus Tyrion with all of his equipment and his legendary horse Malhinder. So, should be a pretty interesting matchup. The final notes that I want to make is that when it comes to Sigmar versus Gilles, it won't get super into specifics like magic items or any of that. It'll be more about comparing feats and accomplishments and who would win in that level of thinking, just because a lot of the really nitty-gritty specifics as far as battle equipment goes is not super famous about the two of them. So, you know, Gilles will like have his legendary blade, his horse. He'll be wearing his style of armor, and he'll have all of his impressive powers. He'll have his Grail Knight powers from drinking from the Holy Grail, whereas Sigmar's just basically going to have Gal Maraz and then all of his skill and power. So, just wanted to clarify that. But yes, so those are the 5 matchups. So just to go over it one more time, you got Tehenhauin versus Wurrzag in the Battle of the Prophets. Wurrzag will be on his piggy Spleen Rippa, whereas Tehenhauin will have his Serpent Swarms to assist him. Then we're going to have a infantry duel between Wulfrik the Wanderer and Queek Headtaker. Then we're going to have a Battle of the Founders, which is going to be Sigmar versus Gilles Le Breton. Then we're going to have a Battle of the Basic, which is going to be Bretonnian Peasants versus Skaven Slaves. And then the final match for the episode will be Belagar Ironhammer versus Tyrion. So, let me know who you think should win in each of those matchups and why you think that. I'm really excited to read what everybody says and hopefully get to see some interesting debates in the comment section. This is probably one of my favorite series to get to interact with you guys on, other than, of course, the Q&As. But this will be coming out. It's going to be Sunday when I release this, and I'll see you all for the official episode, which there'll be like a premiere for it and stuff on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be Greenskin Q&A stuff. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you then, guys. Bye.